Welcome, duelists, to live coverage of YCS London 2019. Thank you for tuning on in. Thank you for stopping on by. I'm your host today, JJ. How y'all doing? Yesterday, with pre-registration, there was over 1,600 people already registered to get in. 108 spots over just to get into the tournament for today. People standing outside at 5 in the morning just to get in. That's the love and appreciation everybody has for the game. But talking about love and appreciation, I have two special guests for you guys that you might know very well. Join with me today are the two prominent voice actors within the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. And awesome to be here. Darren Dustin and Erica Schroeder, the voice of Maximilian Pegasus and My Valentine. So without further ado.
Hello there, duelists. My name is Maximilian Pegasus, and I am the person responsible for creating the wonderful game known as Duel Monsters. I would like to welcome you to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series here in London. I'm looking forward to finding out who, of all these talented people, is going to win. You know, I would like to have a chat with them so that we could discuss some...
Hey there, mister. I am not going to let you anywhere near these duelists. Last time I saw you in Duelist Kingdom, my soul ended up being trapped in one of your cards.
Oh, look, it's my Valentine.
Yeah, that's right. And I am ready to set my harpy ladies on you any minute if you start causing any trouble.
My dear my, however much fun I had playing with souls, I don't even have my Millennium Eye anymore, so I couldn't cause trouble even if I wanted to.
Well, let's keep it that way. I'm looking forward to watching these duelists fight it out to be crowned a champion.
You know, when I'm not spending time playing with my toon monsters, I too enjoy watching some fist-pumping, jaw-dropping, dueling action.
Well, at least we can agree on something. I think we've spent enough time talking.
Indeed. So, do you know what time it is?
It's time to duel.
Not alone, as you can see, but we wanted to announce a very special surprise for everyone this weekend. The new member of the commentary team. You can turn around for everyone. Familiar face, Steven. Nice to welcome you here.
Yeah, no problem.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, doing fine. Yeah, very excited. Yes, it's still overwhelming because it's my first time doing the live commentary, but I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can say you're not that camera shy, of course, for everyone knowing him. He has a huge YouTube channel that me, myself, also have been following all over the years. It's great work you've been doing for the community, always keeping updates with new products, even deck list at the event. So really huge props to you. And yeah, guys, welcome again. It's going to be a huge event, as you can see. London is always magical, I gotta say. Fantastic city, a lot of players and a lot of action, really. We have gathered from all over the countries. We have people even coming over for all over the world, Australia, US. Yeah. So it's gonna be a fantastic journey. And before just jumping into our match, I would like to highlight for you guys just what has been looking before this round one. So what are these 1,800 players from which countries? So I'm gonna bring up for you guys the country breakdown for the event. So let's take a look. There you go. So for the decks, as you can see, everyone we interviewed yesterday was saying this was going to be a wide event, both in terms of like countries, but the decks, it's so many.
So
are you surprised by it?
Well, a little bit, but we saw from the UDS last week where Jesse Cotton won. In the state. Was it? No, Panama.
Yeah.
And so I kind of expected Orcus to be the most represented deck, and then maybe Thunder Salmon Grades through Draco for me is a bit surprising.
Absolutely.
It's a bit more represented than Sky Striker. Again, something we might have seen coming from the Forbidden and Limited list. Pendulums, Luna Light.
Yeah,
okay, so
it's
we see
also-
pure more than Luna Light. Okay, and then a lot of others. Okay.
Absolutely, but there are a lot of news, and at this event, as we were saying, a lot of events in the UK. We have a lot of winners. Mirko Zanelli, we have Jesse Cotton, all previous winners. But for this round one, we decided to pick a winner from a UK YCS, but not London. It was Liverpool. But for anyone remembering, not spoil it for you guys. And let's go back to JJ for the introduction of round one YCS London.
Thank you, Marcello. Thank you, Marcello. That was an awesome introduction. I hope that you guys have some pretty awesome time on the casting booth. Now I'll be introducing the two duelists who'll be playing the first round. Coming in from the red corner, Nils Bartels, all the way from Germany. Come on, come stand next to me. It's like, you know, this could be your first feature because I was talking to you a little bit before that. How do you feel right now, actually?
I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous, but it's okay.
Of course, that's like a bit of nerves, a bit of jitters. Like, do you think that you've at least practiced enough and trained enough for the event?
I've practiced a little bit, but not enough because I was sick at the start of the week, so I couldn't practice the last week. So it's not optimal.
But you're feeling a little better now, I hope, at least.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, take a seat, just chill out, relax. Your opponent will be with you really soon. And then, right from the homeland of UK, Thomas Rose. How are you feeling, man?
I'm really happy to be here. Like, I love playing these events, so I just can't wait to play some games.
Okay, cool. So then, do you think that you've also practiced a little bit? You got some time down because I saw that you've been doing some training with your friends and stuff during your talk shows and stuff that you do online. Do you think that from the testing you've done then till now, do you think you have enough in?
Not really. Like, the testing that we do online, that's basically it. Like, we're all like busy working full time now, so we have that little Monday night session where we like to show off some games, but yeah, we don't do much more beyond that, and just like local tournaments, regionals if we can get to them. So I'm not feeling super practiced, but I've got a deck that I'm excited to play some games with, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, he does do a lot of live duels and stuff with his friends for the community and stuff, so he's a very community-focused person, and he has done a bit of coverage with us as well. So, take a seat, Tom.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you guys here. Now, you guys have been waiting for this. We're going to be starting round one. Let's head over to the casters, Marcello Barbetti and Steven Jacobs.
Welcome back once more. So, as you can see now, we're going to have a really exciting match between two really good players. Thomas Rose, of course, having even the country advantage, but an incredible player. He has 3 wins under his belt, 2 YCSs and a national even. So it's incredible player, one of the best by far, and definitely here to take one more win. What do you think his chances are in this weekend?
I know Thomas Rose is, and he always said it in the interview a couple of moments ago, maybe he's less prepared now, but when I first saw that he was in the feature match, I was like, oh, he's probably playing maybe like Burning Abyss, Orcust, you know,
Exactly.
like he's known for playing these graveyard-oriented decks, but it's something different, completely different.
Absolutely.
Surprising.
We showed you guys the deck breakdown for the event, and to even surprise you more, neither of these guys are playing something that is in the top 8 most played decks. So for Tom Rose, Subterror, I'm completely shocked by this choice. Why do you think he could be choosing this? Maybe it's consistent for such a large event?
Yeah, maybe, or maybe, as you said, he was less prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, but as we have seen from the UDS last week, Orcust, and from the representation as well, it should be the best deck, maybe, in the current format,
I would
or
say
with,
so.
at least with the highest chance to maybe win. But him picking an underdog deck might, be surprising for players thinking he would play Burning Abyss and maybe be prepared for him as an opponent. So yeah, interesting pick on his part.
That's true. Also, it might be because, I don't know, his season last year was very weird because it was phenomenal. He, of course, won YCS Dusseldorf, and he had a very successful series of tops, but unfortunately he fell quite short to the World Championship race, ended up in 9th place, which was kind of heartbreaking.
Right.
So something that I really wish to ask him further on, if Is he gonna try again? Let's see here. What is he gonna do? But anyway, his opponent is also a very valid player, and he's playing a very interesting deck against him. So
it's again something we also didn't expect, especially first round, being
Paleozoic, yeah.
Paleofrogs. We've seen a lot of traps, and it feels that he might have the advantage over Subterrors.
it could be, because to be honest, I interviewed a lot of people, and we have a new set, Chaos Impact, but we also have a new Forbidden Limited list, and everyone was saying, I think the decks are gonna be slower, I think traps are gonna be more popular, and this future match might be a confirmation of that, because both are playing trap-based decks.
Yeah.
Maybe Palio will win. Back in YCS Prague, it has been a lot of time since we have seen it succeed.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I
Yeah.
think we're all ready. So if our players are there, let's just go to the table
Okay.
and enjoy it soon. Who do you think is going to have the advantage just before walking into it?
I mean, if we take a look at both lists,
Okay.
we see like we can talk about like the cards, right? Individual
of course.
cards. We see
Now-
the heavy storm duster mained in the
Yeah.
paleo list. That's with the trap trick as well. So immediately searchable. Spell and trap destruction against something like Subterrors is fantastic.
Yeah, that would probably be on his favor. Anyway, we will see if they will draw it, and having 6 copies will probably be the case. The die roll will matter. Let's see who wins it, and let's see who will win game 1. Okay, so
Yeah.
now we will be ready here. Something also worth mentioning is when you expect like combo decks or Cust, you can see that they are both maining Anthrops, cards like Nibiru, and those will be completely useless
Exactly,
here.
exactly, and that might be one of the reasons why Thomas specifically picked like a deck that's not really weak to Nibiru, picking Subterror. So that again might be one of those picks why he picked why he picked Subterrors over, let's say, Burning Abyss or Orcus. But so let's see. I'm not really sure if the dice has been rolled or which player is going to start.
Yeah, but we can see already like an Ash Blossom for Tom. That always useful, even though actually now that I look at it, Nils is not playing any of the pot cards. Usually you see like the Mice, the Sires, but he's only playing Scapegoat.
Exactly, yeah, his only spell is Scapegoat. So yeah, as you said, like Pot of Desires, Pot of Extravagance, Card of the Mice, especially one of those cards specifically for trap-heavy decks.
Very peculiar.
Yeah, it's very special.
Which also means that he doesn't have any real target for Ash Blossom. And now we see one of his statues, Lilith, which...
Okay. It's definitely a good opening. I mean,
Yeah.
he can search basically anything indirectly.
But it's also a tricky one, because if you see a Lilith, I think you expect like maybe Mystic Mine or like an
right.
Infernoid
Yeah.
deck. You really do not think Paleo on top of your head.
Yeah, we saw a smile from Thomas, so he might
Yeah.
be like, oh man, I'm playing against Mystic Mine or
Mystic
something
Mine,
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Because as we can see, I don't think he has any out to it.
No. No
So
spell and trap destruction in
He's
the
playing
first game.
no spell and trap destruction, yeah, so that's gonna be a tough one. And
Only 2 sets?
doesn't set the Duke Frog. Are you surprised at all by that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure why. Why would you keep the Duke Frog in hand?
Yeah.
Maybe for swap, maybe for the special summons, but I don't know.
I mean, I would think if you have just the one, maybe you wanna use it to make it totally, but if you have 2,
Yeah,
I
if
feel
you-
like you can
yeah.
set it, so... Ah, no, but you already summoned Lilith, that's why.
Okay,
yeah,
of
Never
course,
mind,
of
never
course,
mind.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
still
yeah.
early in the morning,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the coffee needs to work in.
So it's
Don't
opening,
worry.
so like double Duke Frog, the Lilith, and
Yeah,
so
unfortunate opening.
yeah, it's not really the best opening. Heavy Storm Duster.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
It's kind of a early trigger, I would say.
But Thomas is already like a couple of cards.
In advantage.
Yeah, and an advantage, yeah.
But I guess with the trap trick, you can always search for the other copy to use in the end phase. And to be fair, Subterror doesn't have that many opening cards, so
Yeah.
could be a right decision.
So Thomas is running, I believe, 1 Nemesis Archer. He's not main decking the level 7. What's it called? Uma Strix, I believe the name is?
Because probably for consistency reason again. Which though might be a bad decision in this matchup where you're gonna grind a lot.
Exactly. It's like one of I'm not personally, I'm not a Subterror player, but it has been like a debate. Should you main deck that quote-unquote brick card that can be dead, the Uma Strix?
Absolutely.
Then again, it can be like instant removal for you. So it's something you have to
Definitely a close one. And here, are we gonna see compulsory actually come down? He's considering it. It might make sense, but at the same time, you can't take all of these -1s early on.
Especially without any Palios in the graveyard to trigger.
It's gonna be a close one. I feel like Trap Trick might have been used on a Palio, because if you do not get the Palios online, then
it's yeah.
you're not
You have
winning.
to get to your swap frog as fast as
Yeah.
possible. You already used up his normal summon for Lilith.
So let's see if he's gonna use another Heavy Storm
Uh-huh.
Duster. Tom also not setting back the Guru. Is kind of bluffing
Right.
the Entrap,
The
exactly, the
Fiendus.
Fiendus.
Yeah. There is the first one. That's the Mystical Space Typhoon, right?
Exactly. Which makes sense because he needs to start things going. So with the dupes especially in his hand, he needs to make a totally awesome and pray that that's gonna work.
So one of the,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a nice
I just
draw.
wanted to say it, like I think one of the best draws he could have is Swap Frog. So now he can finally get some speed in the duel with, let's say, a normal summon or maybe a special summon after that of discarding a Dupe Frog. And getting some Ronin Totems. Ooh, the strike is big for Thomas here. So that's, that's very unfortunate for Nils.
Absolutely, and at the same time, he didn't waste the -1 by discarding like dupe.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a good play on his part.
Let's see. It's looking like Tom might actually go with this one. He didn't open many of his useless cards for the matchup, and it is paying off. So
yeah, he already has a Phoenix. He has a Pot of Duality ready, I guess, for this turn.
So let's see. He uses the final battle to set the Guru and set it back, so he can even gain more advantage. And
that's already basically the desired matchup for Subterrors, right? You have the Guru, you have the final battle, you have the Phoenix in hand. I mean, he has basically everything, and especially his opponent is very much behind.
And that's where you gotta consider the Heavy Storm Duster from Nils. If he hold it, maybe that could have changed a few things.
Yeah, it's because we are seeing both hands as well. So for us, it's maybe a bit easier to let's say, oh man, he maybe should have kept the Heavy Storm Duster.
Okay, and he uses everything, which now left you wondering with Tom being already on like a +3 and one more pot. So really good situation, but at the same time, it isn't easy. Even just setting a Dupe Frog isn't that easy for Subterror to remove.
Yeah.
If you're playing against a Downer deck, sure. But
So he picked the Call. Yeah, of course, Call by the Grave. So again, yeah, what could Nils do? I mean, is only 2 cards are Dupe Frog? Should he rely maybe on another Swap Frog top deck?
I mean, as I was saying, you're not playing against a very aggressive deck, so maybe even just setting the Dupe, because you just got rid of a final battle. They will need to add another copy, just like Tom was trying to do.
Yeah, the thing.
And another tough draw. Imperial Order, not really what he's looking for.
So there can only be one set, and the Call by the Grave, of course. Yeah. So setting the Dupe and the.
And another Rush Blossom. It's gonna be a close one, to be fair, because how do you approach this? Like the Dupe Frog is annoying. So.
But yeah, the thing is that okay, we both have quite slow decks, but if you can compare the can I call it speed with these both these decks? I think the Thomas should have the advantage with like flipping the Guru, getting the searches, maybe drawing into a field spell for some more advantage.
I agree, but now he just passed, and Trap Trick, pretty decent top deck. He also has the option to just flip the Imperial Order to bring back the Paleo. Let's see. So, normal summon of a Dupe, which now is going to be met by there can only be one, I would assume. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
Obviously. He could. Okay. All right. This is definitely going to be a very long and grindy game. Yeah.
It could be maybe not just a game one.
Hopefully not. Hopefully like a full match.
Absolutely.
It's also better for both players getting like the full.
Yeah. And at the same time, this is a very long and grind one, but no one has a big advantage, I feel like, when time is cold. It's not like you're playing against Kai Striker where you're really wondering about the clock. So we might also see a draw. I wouldn't think that the draw would be impossible here.
So another trap trick.
Yeah, really good card. I really enjoyed it. Everyone following the stream knows that I've been talking about Trap Trick ever since it was released. And I really like that it keeps on seeing some play.
Well, basically, like for, let's say, the artifact engine, it's basically extra copies of Sanctum, and in today's format, getting your main decking maybe triple Sanctum. That seems like more logical with one side or two sides, artifact side that is, and you can extra adjust or main deck more copies of well, artifact Sanctum in the form of Trap Trick. So the Fitness now.
Yeah, the Fitness negates the Duster, and now we're really in a stuck situation. So the Compulsory is picked up. Again, not one of those cards that he really wished for. Because what I'm wondering is also how does he get rid of this Finale at this point?
Yeah.
And one more minus
to use
one. This
another
is
minus,
very slow from Nils.
I've been told before the matchup that Nils was quite, well, at least he has been playing Peleos for a long time.
Okay.
So he's quite familiar with the deck.
Yeah.
At least that's what I heard.
But at the same time, like, at least from my experience, when you decide to play such a deck, and it works for both because they are pretty similar concept decks, you prepare for the most played. So you prepare for Orcus, maybe Salamangreat. When you're facing a deck like this, you also have to improvise a lot. So
yeah, we see like a standard main deck card for Subterror being the super polymerization, but
yeah, I mean, you can't blame them. Like in a
of course.
11, if not 12 rounds event, you're gonna play maybe one of these decks.
Exactly.
Not that many, so.
Yeah, the chances are bigger early game or early rounds to face the lesser known or lesser bigger decks.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's part of the tournament.
And London, at least from my experience, always has this trend. Like for example, even when I won back in 2014, I only lost to a Fire King, which was completely out of the water, like in a Shadow format. You see a lot of different decks, because people enjoy the event. For anyone like still wondering where we are right now, we are inside the Excel for the ACM with the Comic-Con, which is huge. So people just enjoy being here and going around.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other halls, so.
So he can get a search now.
Yeah, nice play by Tom, crashing into the stolen Guru.
Right.
And we are back where we were.
Yeah,
it's a lot of flashbacks and deja vus, we can say. Yeah.
So putting the Duke Frog also phase on as well. Yeah, potentially getting a search later. How is he going to get rid of the Duke Frog? I mean.
Yeah, that's my main concern, because like outside of Final Battle, which doubles your attack pretty much.
Maybe Crackdown?
It's tough, yeah. Yeah, probably Crackdown and Final Battle, but like one Final Battle is already gone, so it's not gonna be easy. And now the Scapegoat is picked up, which with Durkin only, of course, it's a little anti-synergic, but could work. And now, as predicted, Tom is gonna get the last Final Battle of his deck.
Yeah.
Super important to get rid of Dupe.
He has no space though, so he needs to get rid of one spell or trap in his back row. So taking some damage here.
We might see our Impermanence being flipped just to free a space. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but he also has the Crackdown, so...
Exactly. Ah, yeah, the Call by the Grave, right.
Makes sense.
He got from the duality earlier.
You can get rid of the
swap. For the potential...
I would have liked the Dupe more, I think.
Yeah. Why? I mean, you have the Marine's Anemone, I believe the name is, the Link 2 that reborns, that could potentially reborn the Swap Frog and send the Ronin Toad into the graveyard. But yeah, on the other hand, Duke Frog...
I mean, yeah, the chances of Dupe Frog leaving anyway are pretty low, so I don't think it would have mattered much. But here, Imperial Order, kind of a bait, I would say.
Exactly.
It seems like it was pretty obvious that Tom just needed to get some space,
Yeah.
and Nils now it's in a very bad position because he will even lose life points. So if he was comfortable with the dupe, now he isn't. And I know something about losing to Imperial Orders. So.
I remember, was it Euros?
Yeah, the
with
European
Zodiac?
Championship.
Yeah.
I think I remained with like 200 life points or something.
Yeah, that was the
win
second
it.
match. Yeah.
It was wild, yeah.
Okay, so the final battle.
Great card, honestly. When like you have effects that are all good on their own, but then even combined,
that's the thing.
Like a really good Yu-Gi-Oh card.
One card does so much for one archetype.
And we see the first paleo of
Finally.
the match.
Finally,
really,
yeah. 14 minutes in.
Yeah.
Finally seeing the first paleo. But now, yeah, well,
I don't really see it. Also, are you surprised at all that he didn't just... I don't know. Because the scapegoat now is even locked. He couldn't use it because there can only efficiently, but at some point you gotta figure it out what you're gonna do with this game. And
especially because he's on a clock, because
Yeah.
of the Imperial Order. Yeah.
on his own clock, and if it looked like it was Tom Rowe's game, now it's even more.
Yeah.
Okay, Link Spider can make things interesting here. At least he's gonna start to Link Summon a little bit. What do you even do though? Because you know the Fiendus is there, you know final battle again is set for next turn.
Yeah, he needs to do something because again he's on a clock, but he knows that Thomas has I think all the cards he needs to stop potential plays.
Probably just the Phoenix to attack, I guess, because
To bait something.
I don't
out.
even think you can use the effect here, can you? Like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, and this
Dead by
hurts a lot. Even strike from Tom Rose, and it's looking like this is gonna be over. Nils left with no cars.
Yeah, and the Imperial Order is blocking the scapegoat as well. So.
Yeah. And now he can even use the other effect of Fiendus, even though there can only kind of conflicts with it. Really no rush. It seems like Tom has managed through this very well, and I think he picks up his cards.
Yeah.
Game 1 goes to Tom. Pretty interesting first game.
As we've mentioned a couple of minutes ago, I think we both expected this match to be longer, but I think as soon as Nils flipped over the Imperial Order, we were like, ooh, this is going to be faster than we expected.
A little bit of a bait, I would say, and we do see this often in Tom's future matches. Like he always playing with his opponent, even with mind games, and maybe it worked.
Would it be maybe some stress, as we've mentioned, or I've been talking to players when they are, when their opponent is, let's say, a very famous player or a big player, you're sometimes making like awkward plays because you're playing like, oh, this big player and you want to do well, but it feels you have more stress than playing against,
I feel like most of the events, like round 1 is the toughest, just because you have to be accustomed, you don't know what's going on, and starting things off on stream against a 3-time champion is not easy, like, let's be honest.
Exactly, right. I think I have done 2 feature matches here, both in Rimini a couple of years ago, and it was like in the back, very quiet, so that's much different than how it's now, but it's stressy, it's really stressy. If you're sitting at home, sometimes you're like, oh man, why is he making that play? Or why does he do that? Or why doesn't he do this? But it's like when you're actually sitting there and you're like in the situation, the stress, the opponent, the judges next to you, it's stress. Stress does much. It does a lot on your choices.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have not come to a YCS in Europe, especially, I've had all of like friends and players from the US telling me, oh, this looks incredible. It looks just like the World Championship. And it's true, we have a stage set up for our players, and it looks very good. We have a crowd of players just gathering, and it's a lot to take in. So Now, however, if our players were, of course, not expecting this matchup, they have their side decks.
Yeah.
And they both have a few generic cards like the Evenly Matched or Solemn Judgments, which could be very useful in these grindy ones. Do you expect Nils to go first? I would say so, right?
Yeah, I think they're both decks that definitely want to go first because of their setup, especially because of Paleos. You definitely don't want to go second and maybe open very average set dupe frog as we saw in the first game.
Yeah.
Did have Lilith though, but...
And we do see another really good hand from Tom, again opening Extravagance.
Yeah.
But again, wondering why Nils decided not to play any of the pot in his decks. So.
Yeah, that's again an interesting choice. Yeah, I really want to know his reasoning. Why no Extravagance, why no pot? Because those are basically free pluses.
Yeah, I remember back in YCS Prague where Grass was also there. I mean, but Grass, Desires and Demise were all like staples. Like you called it the Trinity even. So.
Right. So this first turn from Nils is definitely much stronger than the first tool. I mean, you open Swap Frog, you open, was it Dupe or was it a Ronin totem?
Yeah, the Dupe.
To discard something, special summon something. So the Coral, what's it called? Anemone, I believe the name is.
Yeah, now you get to see what this new Paleo decks looks like. You have Marin Cars, some of them from the newest set, Chaos Impact, now making this deck more explosive. You can also, as you can see here, use them to just link summon and then go for Totally, or instead even make a very strong board. You can almost get to a 5k link attack monster, so it's really strong. And this opening looks incredible.
Yeah, it's a very strong opening. He can definitely search now, like probably a dupe frog.
Yeah.
Put his opponent on there. Well, not really a dupe lock, but again, forcing him to attack the dupe. So a very solid opening from Nils. Not really sure what the traps were. What Nils opened with. But Thomas, yeah, double. There can only be one, the Solemn. Lot of Extravagance, okay.
It's an interesting hand. Maybe we could see Tom not using the pot, just like Sec Gurus at 4, and try and bait some negations like that. Which can work, to be fair, because if he flips like a Durkin only, maybe Nils will negate, then you strike, or just flip the second Durkin only. It can work.
Yeah, so now, as you talked about, we might see some mind games here, like Thomas thinking I should maybe not activate Extravagance, and I mean, yeah, you can like go really far in this.
And he's not using it, so
as you mentioned, okay.
Definitely not surprised by this, correct line of play, but now the trap tricked into Duster could be huge.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it comes down, and I would be very surprised if this wasn't the Heavy Storm Duster, so let's see if agrees with my choice. Maybe even the Paleo, okay.
He has no Paleo set, so the trap trick, the compulse, and the impermanence, so no Paleo. So he might...
Sure, but at the same time, do you really need it when you have that many frogs?
Exactly.
You can see he's considering it.
He does.
He does think he needs it. I don't really like it, though. So I feel like you always win. If you just get rid of 2 cards like that, you have one,
yeah, especially because he has the Totally Awesome as well, so that's already 3 cards he can answer. Yeah.
But now he's holding it, and at least he will be able to just use it in response to the Durkin only.
So you might see a second copy, of course.
But now, yeah, he's gonna see the second copy, and if he negates, we're probably just gonna see the strike.
And the strike as well, yeah. That's a correct down, okay.
Okay. Nice bait here from Tom.
It's a good play.
He will try and negate. What is Tom gonna do here? Strike, yeah.
Okay.
So as predicted, Tom plays his traps very well, trying to bait out and still preserving the information, because his opponent doesn't know that the second Durkin only is there.
Exactly. So here is where Thomas has only 1 card set, one spell and trap set, so that might have been the extra card that might have or would have been destroyed because of the Heavy Storm Duster.
Yep. And now, since he doesn't know about the Durkin only, he thought that basically the trap was better than Crackdown, which makes sense. Because now Nils doesn't know, he could just summon a bunch of frogs, like Swap, Ronin, even a Paleo, and then the Durkin only is gonna matter a lot. That's why I really didn't like the Palio instead of the Duster.
Right.
If
yeah.
that was a Duster, this game was over on the spot.
Pretty much. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and no surprise there. So the swap comes down. I don't see many lines here to prevent it. Like, because if he's like playing around it, maybe he could, but I feel like he's gonna fall for it. Because the regular player probably would have used the second Erkin only instead of Kraktan, I would say.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So,
So Niels is definitely not thinking about the potential second copy
I
of
really
the
don't
only
think
one.
so. And
Yeah,
here you can see it.
exactly.
He's really not expecting it, and he's gonna get hit by
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, a smile on Niels' face.
Yeah. At least though now he still has the option of going for a Phoenix, but if you go for Phoenix, then you can't go for a total because
Exactly.
you lock your own zone.
Exactly.
So does he play Unicorn? Maybe. Could he go for it? He is playing it.
Yeah, we see a
Because
unicorn.
that's a Link 2, right? The Coral
Yeah,
Animal.
Coral Animal is a link too, yes, correct.
So maybe, yeah, that's what he's considering. I think with the Unicorn, then you can really have a good play. So maybe that's good enough.
And he still has the combo set, I believe, and
Yeah.
Impermanence? Was it Impermanence?
Absolutely. So nice line of play here from Nils. He smiles, as you were saying, obviously not super happy, but still finds a way around the... Because now he should have enough materials engraved to summon both Ronins. I hope for him, at least. It should be exact, I think, yeah. And here they come down.
So, yeah, indeed. So he can... Yeah, well,
Yeah.
This is definitely very
Huge,
strong. Yeah.
Huge. I was just worried that since he was going to waste one of the frogs for baiting the
Right.
Derkinoli, maybe he could be short, but he has the exact number. He's considering giving compulsory.
But he can't go for game, right? It's
No.
6,500.
And I think you would have just played it before, though, if you needed it. Because then you can bring back the Palio. So.
Exactly.
Doesn't seem like it's necessary.
Yeah, it seems he wants to go for damage.
And he doesn't bring back the Palio, which is also slightly weird here. Very aggressive line of play from Nils.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it kind of makes sense to not want to use the negation from Totally, I guess. Because if you attack into the Guru, then you're kind of forced to use it, and you don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. Didn't convince me fully. And now the Totally comes down again, locking the Extravagance, and is looking like Tom doesn't have too much to do.
Yeah, so Thomas only has 2 cards, I think. The Extravagance from the first turn and the new card he drew, I think. So there is the Extravagance.
I think it's Heavy Storm Duster.
Right.
And it's not going to help him. Like, here I would be completely surprised if Nils didn't negate.
Yeah, of course, for the extra plus.
Also huge because you now get back the Extravagance.
Exactly, and that's the game, yeah.
Cards are picked up. We're going to see a game 3, and surprisingly, there is still like 15 minutes left. So
Exactly.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
We had very long grind in game 1, but game 2 was rather quick, only a couple turns.
But it was, Niels opened very powerful. We saw the Coral Anemone, the Reborn swap, another Sand, another Ronin Totem, the Dupe Frog Surge during the standby phase of Thomas. I mean, he had basically everything he wanted, right?
It is by far one of the best cards he could have had. And now looking at the side decks, our thing's gonna change. Tom is definitely going first, siding his own copies of Heavy Storm Duster.
Of course, yeah.
Probably the MVP of this match overall. Such
definitely.
a powerful card.
It's a very powerful card against like rogue decks, a lot of trap-heavy decks. Does he have other options to side? Maybe the 3rd copy of Call by the Grave, since he's only main decking 2?
Maybe. At the same time, though, if they don't open the swap, it's very subpar. We do see the Waking the Dragon, though, which is a very nice spice from Tom. With like the Olinoides and the Duster, there are a lot of chances that they're gonna pop it. So, what is the target for it? The Falcon, I would say. He's not playing. I don't see anything too special. Maybe just the Dingirsu, I guess.
Dingirsu, yeah.
I would have expected. You usually see it in combination with like the warrior from another planet.
Yeah, the good old school,
Like, yeah.
powerful fusions. Yeah. Ooh, that's Thomas's first hand. It feels underwhelming unless he has like a hidden city or guru maybe.
And this is where I was worried. Like Called by the Grave doesn't seem like it is the best card here. The Solemn is probably the best one, but maybe you're wishing for an explosive start from your opponent so that you can use your crackdowns to then play.
Exactly, yeah.
And let's see what Nils and looks like. I see a Veiler, which is also very surprising.
Veiler?
Double Ronin. Oh, they're both having very weird hands. But the Duster, which is huge. It's going to be a close one. I think this is probably going to be the closest yet.
Yeah.
And a Fiendus, I think, was picked up by Tom. Let's see.
Fiendus or Kuru or?
Yeah, I think it's Fiendus.
Okay. Yeah, Fiendus.
Okay, Apalio is finally picked up. So what I think can happen here is if he flips the Ronin, then normal summon the Ronin. Double Crackdown is used, he chains Duster, but then Solemn negates it.
Right.
Maybe Tom has a chance.
We could see a potential big chain.
I would say that's gonna happen like almost for sure. So let's see if I'm right. Because the other sets, Canadian, it has to happen. I would be shocked if Tom didn't use the Crackdown here. Maybe he's waiting for the Totally. That can also work.
Yeah.
Because like if you wait for Totally and then you use Crackdown on Totally, it can work as well. But yeah, it makes sense to use it here.
Okay.
So he can chain it or just wait for the Duster, but doesn't change a lot. Let's see what he is.
Okay. Would you roll a dice here? It's for me when I have to pick cards, it's always use a dice.
I really don't, but yeah, as predicted, the Solemn comes down. The dice is I don't know. Sometimes I do, but usually I really don't because you can always catch up on like some tells from your opponent.
That's true. Yeah.
Like even the order in which they set them, or like how convinced they are when they set them. I feel like you can catch up some info.
Yeah, some body language. Yeah.
Oh, and another Fiend is picked up. Not amazing here. Tom has to work with what he has though. Like he feels he can't wait anymore, so he's gonna try and push here. Very unfortunate opening though.
We might see the, what's it called? Canada, the Book of Moon?
Yeah.
That's the Book of Moon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he has the Book of Moon. He also has the Karma Cutlass.
Yeah, the Dynamiscus.
The Dynamiscus. So
that's the Book of Moon. Okay.
Canada comes down, and Tom and very worried. He's considering the Crackdown here, which is interesting, because in the moment in which he waits, he will always give his opponent a paleo when he flips the Crackdown.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he's not playing his own totally. Otherwise, that would have been insane.
Of course.
Okay, so another,
Who do you think has the advantage here in this spot? Do you feel Nils is
I
a
think
bit better
Nils is starting to put up some pretty good advantage. It is still going to be very close, I feel like. So the Dynamiscus is huge.
Okay.
And as I was saying, like Nils is starting to convince me more. He has Paleo, and now he basically has access to 3 to 4 monsters. So
yeah, like Paleo is like it feels like a very slow deck if you're playing against it, but it can explode from like the beginning of a turn and then like the end of main phase. You can like do so much from all the cards in your graveyard, from Rodent or from swap. Like here, you have like the 3 level 2 monsters that can pump out some negations.
Are you surprised that he discarded the other Canadian instead of Veiler?
I see.
I don't know. Here you can also go, okay, he goes for Totally. I was considering you can also go for the Paleozoic XYZ that allows you to use like traps from the end.
Yeah.
That's also a cool one.
What's it called? I forgot its name. You know.
is not even playing it. Okay, so never mind. I think Opabina, something
Yeah,
like that.
Opabinia.
Yeah,
Opabinia, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, he's not even playing it. I guess with the new master rule, then it's worse, but taking things very slowly. So he uses the totally. We know Tom only has the Cold Body Graves, which again seems like they're very shaky. We paid attention in the last game where Nils had the option to tribute totally a lot of times, but he always chose to tribute the frog.
Right.
And maybe
right.
that's to play around the cold.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fiendus once more gonna come down.
It's not looking too good for Thomas. Again,
Yeah.
no Guru, no Hidden City. He needs those advantage cards. Otherwise, it's just.
And
So there we
Veiler,
see the Veiler. Okay.
which
Call
at
by the-
least gives some.
It's fine though, but
utility.
it doesn't really feel that strong.
Yeah, because then
Okay,
impermanence comes down. Well played by Nils in like
Yeah.
setting it in front of
Yeah.
one of Tom cards, because now it will prevent, I think, the other Cold by the Grave, which is probably going to be chained at this point. Do you think so? But it doesn't even do much, so it's very tough from Tom. I don't really see a way out of this.
No.
The Derkinoli was a very good draw, but again, it's
Still,
it's
he
tough.
has the toad. Yeah, it's again not looking too.
Maybe it
So
is
good.
the top deck that he needed though, because if you just flip the Crackdown, you force the negation then
Right,
with the Derkinoli, or like even the other way around, you know. So maybe it can work, because like now if he flips the Derkinoli, it depends on what he wants to do here. Which one do you think it's better to keep?
I might just flip over the there can only be one to force out
Good
the
sick.
toad.
Yeah, it's definitely close. Because
You see Thomas. You see Thomas thinking, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's very focused, very concentrated.
it's a player that usually knows what he's doing, but here it is definitely not scenarios that you have practiced a lot.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Paleo is even less popular than Subterror nowadays, so
I mean, you can definitely expect it, especially early rounds, especially with the new support from
Sure.
Marine says as well. So you could definitely prepare for the water matchup, Paleo/Frog/Marine says, for the earlier rounds that is. But
yeah, it's arguably there, but now Tom decides that the Derkinoli is better.
Yeah.
Is he gonna just use it right away, or is he gonna wait for Nils to overextend? It seems like he's waiting, which is also huge because Nils gets the Crackdown, which is a way of dealing with the Derkinoli at the same time.
Right.
So even though this is good, you're still staring at a totally. It's a very good match. I feel like it's really showing you.
yeah, it's going back and forth. And
Yeah.
again, from the first duel, we thought that, oh man, this is going to be like a long and grindy duel, and like there are only a little over 6 minutes left.
Yeah, and I
in the
feel like
round.
by far this game is proving that. You can see a lot of different interaction. It seems like almost a chess game where they're thinking like steps ahead. Because like here, for example, Tom thought that this was better because in the case he top decked something good, Nils wouldn't have any more water monsters, so he was forced to tribute the totally, and then you can use the cold to negate it. So it's very. I think Tom is playing a chess game. Unfortunately, though, this is not chess, so you're not always.
Luck isn't on his side.
Yeah, he needed something, but you gotta really give credit to him for doing the best he could with the cards he has.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think he will not be able to pull this one, but let's see if he finds a way.
So the Duster on the Crackdown, that is.
I think at this point he's in desperation mode. He's just trying to force the totally, but I don't think Nils is gonna buy it. Yeah. Nils not believing the bluff, and I think Tom, all the other cards are like a Solemn Judgment set and the Call by the Grave, and I think his life points are
Yeah,
wrong.
this game. Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Handshake, Nils takes it, being the underdog, but still overcoming the champion. Let's go back to us for the post interview.
It's the opening hand of Thomas was a bit. It was so unfortunate. The double Call by the Grave, the double Crackdown, and maybe one Hidden City or Guru could have made it up. Like very like an okay start, but It feels so unfortunate for him.
It gotta be the start of the story for the weekend if you're Nils. Like you walk into this event, yesterday there were almost 1,700 pre-registration, which is gotta be a record for all event, I wanna say. And you maybe barely miss it, but then you come here, round one, you're ready, they call you for a future match on stage against a three-time champion. You gotta give credit to him. He was by far the underdog in this matchup.
Definitely.
He even lost game one after winning the die roll. So
nice comeback.
Tried and stay focused, came back. Thomas Rose, again, proving he's a fantastic player. He really tried his best with whatever he had, but unfortunately, game 3,
luck wasn't on his side.
Very
that's a part of the game.
It is.
Luck,
you always gotta, of course, take in consideration, like, could I have changed something in my side deck? But again, it's a long day. We're gonna have 8 rounds today, I believe, so a lot more time to catch up and just improve your plays, improve your decisions overall.
Yeah,
and
he can still top, right? I've met,
absolutely.
at least I've talked to a gazillion players that lost their first round and then won every round after
even
that.
won the event.
Of course,
entirely.
and won the event as well.
It happens sometimes, and it's definitely though an adrenaline rush for Nils. Like, if you start the day that well, of course you don't have to like keep your hopes like too high. That's also a mistake. Like when you start things so well, it happened to me as well. When maybe I started the day like 5 or 6, so like super confident, but then. I don't know, reality check, I would say, from the game. Always keep your head there, but
keep focused, keep concentrated.
Keep focused, and it will more. We have to start with 2 very interesting decks, though. I'm sure we will see a lot more because this event is wide. Like
there's a lot of diversity.
In every sense.
A lot of diversity. So I'm looking forward to it, like Thunder Salet's Orchestra or whatever.
Absolutely, but thank you again for joining me.
Problem.
It was a fantastic pleasure to have you for
first
your
time. First time. It's cool.
For your first time. And guys, thank you again for watching. But now we will go back to Nils and JJ for the winner interview. Keep watching.
Now we have the first feature match winner of London YCS. And thank you, man, for coming on. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So what was your first instinct going into the match? It's a Subterror versus, it's more Toad, not Marine's Toad, I guess?
I only play one Marine's card, and only because it summons Swap Frog from the graveyard, so it's only Paleo Frog.
Okay, so just more or less just a pure variant with a hint of Marine Cess just to get some toolboxing in. What was your idea going into this matchup, actually?
Well, Subterror is actually one of my worst matchups because it's, it has so many resources and there can only be one, just shuts down my entire deck. But I was really lucky that I think I was just lucky that I had the right cards when he had there can only be one.
I mean, that could be a factor of it, but you also played it out correctly as well. Because if you didn't play it out well with the cards that you had or the cards that you were able to use to manipulate the matchup, of course you wouldn't be able to pull out the win, right?
Yeah, that's probably also a factor.
So how do you feel about the event so far then?
Well, I think it's cool. It's a little bit unfortunate that it was capped at 1,800, but I think it's a great. I love YCS and I think it's a great event.
Okay, that's good. Well, Nils, thank you for coming on. You've been great. There'll be more live coverage after this.